In on the Rafale deal, the Supreme Court on Friday dismissed a batch of review petitions seeking a court-monitored probe into the procurement of the 36 Rafale fighter jets by the Narendra Modi government, saying there was no grounds to order an FIR. Justice S.K. Kaul, reading out the judgment for a three-judge bench, said the court cannot have a fishing and roving inquiry, as was said on December 14th last year when the top court had originally dismissed all petitions seeking a court-monitored probe into the 59,000 crore rupees contract for the fighter planes made by Dassault Aviation of France. This is the latest that we are bringing to you. The verdict is finally out. Gogoi, Justices S.K. Kaul and K.M. Joseph in December last year found no irregularity in the government's handling of the deal. So far as price was concerned, the court kept the details confidential. As regards Reliance Defence, the government said it was up to the French firm whom to choose as its offset partner. The litigants who filed the PIL spotted factual errors in the judgment and filed a review petition for rectification. This hearing was held by the three-judge bench that gave the earlier decision. The court reserved verdict on the review pleas in May this year. Along with the main case, the court will be deciding on a contempt petition against Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. A plea was moved by BJP parliamentarian Meenakshi Lekhi, who took affront to Rahul Gandhi misleading public over the court decision on Rafale deal. Now, the Congress leader later apologized for his comments. This is the latest that, we are coming at when it comes to the Rafale verdict. The Supreme Court has dismissed the batch of review petitions seeking a court-monitored probe into the procurement of the 36 Rafale fighter jets by the Narendra Modi government, saying there was no grounds to order an FIR. This is an unprecedented verdict coming in the favor of the BJP government, certainly. And Justice S.K. Kaul, reading out the judgment for a three-judge bench, said that the court can't have a fishing and roving inquiry, as was said on December 14th last year when the top court had originally dismissed all petitions seeking a court-monitored probe into 59,000 crore contract for the fighter planes made by Dassault Aviation of France. Let's quickly get in some perspective on all the latest. I'm joined in by political editor Kartikeya Sharma, who's joining me live from the newsroom at this moment. Kartikeya, what are you picking on this verdict now? Will there finally be a court-monitored investigation into the probe, and will the pricings actually be made public?
You see, there are a couple of things which have happened simultaneously. One is legal, another is the level of the policy, and third is the political level. Now, but at the level of the, I would say, the policy, the matter is closed, which means that the government can very easily go ahead and finalize all the deals. At the policy level, to simply put it, what happens is that the government can be more adventurous and more forthright in going with other defense deals, because one of the fallbacks of the 1987 Bofors was that there was a paralysis. If you look at the acquisition pattern of Indian military, major acquisitions took place when Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister and Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was helms of affair, till the government became lame duck with the Bofors. After that, there was no acquisition or proper acquisition when it came to the aircrafts, when it came to the building of naval ships or purchasing of important components. Even Vikramaditya became late by 20 years. If you look at development of tanks or our indigenous fighter equipments, everything was delayed by 20 to 25 years for one simple reason. Every bureaucrat was afraid to ink any deal or put his opinion on the paper. So I think it's going to put that policy paralysis at rest, that if you push a defense deal, if you think it is right for the country, if you put your opinion on paper, then you might get victimized 5 years or 10 years down the line. I think that is one very important fallout of this judgment. Second is the political part. Now, the political part is that the 2019 campaign of the opposition against the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party was around corruption. And I remember this because when I asked this question to Mr. Rahul Gandhi in the press conference, I said, if Congress comes back to power, will you cancel the deal? He said, I have no issue with the Rafale aircraft, but I have the issue with the process or the way it is being acquired at that point of time. Now, the whole thing has been shut, which means that politically, this campaign has no weight. It means that the opposition will have to come to terms with the fact that the thing which they thought would deliver them, New Delhi, did not, and the courts also seemed otherwise. And lastly, I would say the legal part, I think it's it's end of that issue now. Now, if the opposition needs to interact with the ruling party or the ruling or the treasury, as we call them in India, then the new issues need to come up. On 18th, the parliament is going to convene. And if you take a big picture, 3 important issues have been settled by the judiciary: Ayodhya, Rafale, Sabrimala and Aadhaar. Sabrimala and Aadhaar have gone to the higher benches, which means that the bench today, or as of now, under the Chief Justice, will not be looking into it. It will have another life. Rafale and Ayodhya, they have come to an end.
It's certainly a very important period for the Indian judiciary, of course, and as you rightly mentioned, when it comes to the Rafale case, some very important developments have taken place. That the topic and the issue of the policy paralysis that you mentioned has been finally laid to rest, and the political campaign that was being heralded by the opposition has finally been put to rest. Thank you so much, Karthikeyan, for bringing in